Good morning, everybody. Today, here is Brianna that is going to be helping us with our novel discussion of Count Me In. So, at this moment, I'll need you to get your notebooks, pause this video, go get your notes, and go get your book so that we can read some of the most interesting parts in the first chapters, okay? In the meantime, I would like to congratulate Daniel Armijo for his amazing answers, Jennifer Godoy and Jocelyn Belleza for being the first three students that submitted their answers using complete sentences and with very good details from the story. Okay, so those three students are gonna get their first Pixie certificates when we made it back to school. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So, now one of the things that I want to discuss today is that it was kind of confusing for some of you to realize okay, so what grade is Karina in? One of the things that I noticed is that some of you wrote in your answers that Karina was in fifth grade, some others were saying that Karina was in seventh grade, and the reason for this is because in the first page, Karina is describing that she is in seventh grade. However, there are some little stars across the book. Can you see them? Like in page number 2, it begins. Can you see them? Yeah, okay. So on page number 2, let me get her down. She might not be very happy about being so up in the air. Page number 2, it starts with the little stars and it continues around in page 7 for Karina. And then on the story for Chris, they are on page 13. Now, the one on page 2, it starts by telling you the story about when they were in sixth grade. Notice that she is letting you know the story that happened a year ago. So maybe these stars are letting you know either their thoughts or things that happened in the past. Now, after that star, it starts a story about how Chris's friend starts bullying her and how Chris does nothing about it. She starts feeling bad, but then on page 7, and this is one of the favorite parts from Jennifer Godoy. On page 7, on the second paragraph, 1, 2. On the second paragraph, it says, I remember crumpling the note very deliberately and tossing it into the trash can when the teacher wasn't looking. And for once, despite my shaky hands, it fell into the basket in one determined arc, because that was where it belonged, and the universe knew that. I noticed Chris Daniel watching me, making that throw. So she's describing how the little bullying um, paper that they were using a little notes calling her K shops or curry shops stinks. Go home. She noticed the hate. She noticed what they meant. She decided that that note was not going to affect her life. She grabbed the note and without making a big deal about it, and you know that because she waited until the teacher wasn't looking, she grabbed the note, she crumbled it in, and she walked toward the trash can and tossed it in. She decided that nothing was going to mess up with her goals. And later on in the paragraph, her father tells her a quote or quote her grandfather and inspires her to keep on going. On the other hand, on the second chapter, you're going to notice that Chris is referring to that same moment again. At the beginning, of course, he's just thinking, awkward. I have to be in the same classroom with her in almost all classes. But then he starts remembering. He starts thinking, hmm, I remember and I know how she feels about my friends and about me. And he hates that she thinks that he is one of the bad guys. He hates that feeling. He does not consider himself as one of the bad guys. And he starts excusing himself from that moment. He also remembered that moment in sixth grade and he starts thinking, "Hmm, I didn't even know what it meant. I didn't notice what they did until I told my brother math. And he starts telling us how he felt right after he noticed what they have done. But he doesn't really want to confront his friends. He doesn't really want to go to his bros and tell him that what they did was wrong. So he did what is the most important things for them. He messed up a game. So they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were in a basketball court, and he didn't allow his friends to actually score, right? And he noticed, yes, it's in a basketball game at PE. And here on page 12, on the last two paragraphs, is letting you know what he did in order to, like, defend her, but not really letting him know that that's what he's doing. You know what I mean? It says, the next day, I was already feeling pretty angry towards Quinn. That was a bully. When we were put on opposing teams during a basketball game in PE, each time Quinn ran toward the basketball to score, I was a defensive wall, and he couldn't score at all. He got angry and crashed into me, making me fall. Trash play, I yelled at him. What's your problem anyway, dude? Quinn gave me a funny look, but I didn't even care. I was mad about a lot of things. Hmm. Later, after that, he's thinking, maybe I should tell Karina about what I did in PE. But then he starts thinking that that might be a little bit awkward. So, both of them are referring to the same incident, to the moment where Karina was bullied back in sixth grade a year before that. And how now it's kind of weird to have them both in the same classroom, even though they're neighbors, they don't usually take so many classes together, so they don't really have to interact that much. Um, in the novel, you're gonna see that those stars are gonna keep appearing, not necessarily in chapter 3 or 4, but as we keep on going, they're going to use those stars specifically on chapter 5 and 6. And I'm going to need you to let me know, what do you really think those stars are? Are they going back into time, into memories, or are they separating moments randomly? Are they letting them know, the reader know, how do the characters feel? Wait up for today's questions. I'll be uploading them soon. Your questions are going to be basically about chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6. Watch out for those stars questions. I hope you liked the video. Let me know if you need anything, and keep on reading, reading, reading. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.